brass flamingos. This was a good find, guys. This was a good find. Guys, this year, brass is so hot. I can't keep it on my shelves. I don't know if this is happening for other resellers, if you guys are like me, but every time I buy a brass item, it is selling really quick, like quicker than normal, quicker than it usually sells. And I know a lot of it has to do with the fact that it is this time of year and a lot of people are using it in their decorating and probably giving it as gifts. Now, if you recently saw a funny reel that I did, it was a short. It's a funny reel about me coming out of Hobby Lobby and I'm telling you not to look at me because I don't want you to see me this way. And that's because sometimes it seems taboo to shop and buy new items when we are such vintage lovers, and of course we are selling vintage home decor. But the thing is, every time I buy something, I buy it with the intention of selling it, but also I'm looking for things that I can use as well. And everything that I've bought lately that I thought that I could use, I decided to put it in my shop and it sold right away. So this year I mixed a lot of old and new together, especially in my Christmas decorating. And I'm going to show you a little bit of that so you can kind of get an idea of what people might be looking for and how they can use it, or even an idea for you if you want to mix your new and old. Before we do that, since I mentioned how hot brass is, I have to show you my latest find. Brass flamingos. These are amazing. And guys, if you don't know how amazing these are, then your shop is not like mine. There are two things that are destined to sell. Flamingos. Flamingos are popular. Every time I have something with a flamingo on it, it sells quickly. Brass, we just said, sells quickly. So put those two together, and I think you're going to have a big seller, brass flamingos. Now, I did pay up for these, but not nearly what they are actually worth. And what I was finding them online selling for, and the ones that did sell, I did mark them a little high in my shop, but we put a little wiggle room in there. So if they have to be marked down, they can be marked down. But these were a great find. So I just got those on my latest shopping trip. I did get them in an antique store, but they were on sale, which made them a great deal. I also got another brass item, which was this very pretty little brass candle holder, Angel. And this one is made in Mexico. So I think she's really sweet. Now, this is one of those really tiny like candle holders where you have to put that really skinny candle in. I want to show you one other thing that's not brass, but it has a little story behind it that may help you in reselling. And that is, if you think that something will not be popular, it might be. I bought this Holly Hobby plastic collectible shelf, and it has some wear on it, discoloration, and it came with 6 of these die cast miniatures. So it's made to hold miniatures, and then 6 of these, and they have moving parts. I bought these a while back, like probably a year ago, and I was gonna sell it separately. I thought somebody might want the shelf, but they may not want these, or somebody might want one of these and not, you know, all of these. But I let it sit in my death pile forever, and I never listed it. For one, I didn't feel like listing all these miniatures one at a time. I'm sorry, I am sometimes very lazy. And I kept questioning this shelf, like, who's gonna want this shelf? It's discolored, it's not in the greatest shape. Well, let me tell you, I finally gave myself a swift kick and I said, you know what? Get some of this stuff listed. Just list it. And guys, the last 5 items that were in my death pile, like that had just been like laying in my pile of stuff that needed to be listed, every single one of those things has sold except for this. And this is in 13 people's carts. 13 people have this in their cart, so they're interested in it. So I don't know if I need to mark it down. I don't know if they're wanting to buy it for a gift for somebody. I mean, vintage gifts right now are hot. Like, I can see that my Etsy store has really picked up. It's been really busy, and I'm not complaining. Why would we complain about money? We wouldn't. This is just my reminder to you guys, if you are reselling, that sometimes the things that you buy and then you question it and you're like, I don't think that's gonna sell. Or you sit on it and you're like, I just don't feel like listing it. It's got a lot of attributes. It's got a lot of stuff I gotta describe and I just don't feel like it. Just go ahead and do it. Just do it, because everything that I've taken a chance on and just went ahead and put it on there that I thought wouldn't sell has sold, except for this, and it's in 13 people's carts. So I'll let you know if this sells. Now, let's get in the Christmassy mood and let's go see how I mixed some vintage with modern this year in my own Christmas decorating to give you kind of an idea of what people might be looking for or how somebody could use an item that you might have for sale in your shop. So here is my fireplace mantle this year. This is a great mix of vintage and modern because every year I change my theme. This year I wanted to do something really simple. I was just tired of like dragging every single thing out. This wreath is pretty much vintage because I made that out of coffee filters, the natural coffee filters that are naturally brown. And then these two ironstone pieces are vintage. The small one is definitely ironstone. I can't remember the maker on that other one. The little white deer, those are vintage. Those were my mom's and she had them out every year in a little display. So I have kept those and I just stuck those up there at the last minute. But the garland is new. The sparkly trees are new. And then these brass candlesticks are from Hobby Lobby, guys. They are new because I had some vintage ones that I could use, but then I decided to put them in my shop and they sold. The ribbon is new, of course, and then it has like some little bells hanging on it. But it makes for a really great look, I think, mixing just a little bit of vintage with a little bit of your new stuff. Now down here in my fireplace, because we don't use our fireplace, it's a gas fireplace and we don't use it, is my nativity scene. Now this nativity was given to me by my husband's aunt and it is really cool. The pieces are a mixture of Homeco, so like the animals, a lot of the animals are Homeco, so they're vintage. And then a lot of the people are actually Lefton. So they are all porcelain ceramic, and there's little baby Jesus, and he is Lefton. If I can get it to focus, you'll see that. And then just to show you some other places that I've used some vintage, this tree, I have 2 trees up this year. Last year I had 4, but I usually have one that has old ornaments or ornaments that were given to us. So this tree actually has some new ornaments on it that people have given us, my daughters have given us over the years, or I've collected over the years. And then it also has some vintage that I've bought, vintage, and also that I've collected. There is an angel at the top, and I like to call her Dolly, and Dolly's vintage. Dolly's seen some things, and she is on that tree. And so I have a modern tree. This is my modern tree that I change out every year to different colors. And then I have my vintage tree. And then I'm over here looking at this green glass, and I'm like, this, this. So even though this green glass is actually for sale in my Etsy shop, I just thought, wow, it looks pretty good with just a candle and a little piece of greenery on it. Like, I can only imagine how people can use all of this in their own decorating. But like I said, guys, green glass also popular this year. This will give you you a little different way to look at things when you're sourcing for your own store, to kind of really imagine how someone's going to use it or how an item can be used in so many different ways. I do think that the more versatile an item is, the more likely it is to sell, but there are going to still be those people that are out there looking for maybe for the Holly Hobby vintage shelf or that one of a kind piece. That is why I love vintage, because it can be both ways, and both ways are going to make you successful. Buying those pieces that can be used in different ways, but also remembering, keep your eye out for those one-of-a-kind vintage things, because that is also what makes vintage so special. That is why it is so popular with so many people. Thank you guys again for being here. I think you're the greatest Pink Truck Pals in the world. You always support me, and I love that. Leave me a comment below. Let me know how your business is doing. If you're not a reseller, let me know, how are you decorating this year? Did you use some vintage in your decorating, or is it all new? Have you been caught at Hobby Lobby lately like I have? Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye for now.